Welcome back to another episode of Word with Ty Brownlow. I am your host, Ty Brownlow. Remember, no one is worthless, no story is worthless. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about bullies and all type of bullying, okay? And joining me today is Miss Tara Lynn Towns, and she is the CEO of Bullying Buddy Consulting, all right? We're going to talk about that, but we're going to talk about something that I find very fascinating, and I hope you will as well. Miss Towns here has an app, but not just any type of app, all right? I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about it. So first and foremost, welcome to the platform.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me here. I'm so excited, and I look forward to this talk, this interview.
All right, no problem at all. So as I said before, you are the CEO of Bullying Buddy Consulting, and you have a international bullying app, okay? The bullyingbuddy.com. Can you tell us all about it?
Bullying Buddy is a cutting-edge anti-bullying and safety app. It records in real time and it alerts simultaneously. So if your child is walking down the hallway or your child is in the bathroom and you're at work, as soon as your child says EBB, it's voice activated, not just manual. Your child says emergency or EBB, then it instantly begins the camera. And once the camera begins, the parents and the bus driver, if the child's on the back of the bus and this is happening on the bus, and admin, the teacher, the principal, they immediately get the video of what your child is going through. So you are now able to not only just get a text message, like that's what we are all doing. We could text, oh, this happened today. You get to see. And you also, it stores. So you have an account. Obviously the app is interrelated. So the parents have the app, the child has the app. And so you have a record. So now when you're reporting to the schools, and some schools, not all, we love the schools, we're trying to help them as well. But some of them can't find records, and when something happens tragic, and things kind of just get shuffled around and we can't find things or what have you. Even parents forget, like, oh, I did go up there 2 weeks prior and what have you. And so anyway, the app also, it does so many things, but it reports, it records, and it tracks. So as your child is being abused, because bullying is abuse, or bullied, you also know where your child is. And so your child will definitely, be tracked for up to 10 minutes. The tracking has no distance. So even if your child is abducted, this app is not just, for kids bullying kids. You will know your child's location before the Amber Alert. This is how serious this technology is. Also, the app, it has a bereavement. Unfortunately, we know as a nation, we are losing children ages 7 to 17. And I work personally through the nonprofit with families who have lost these children. I am a clinician by trade, day trade. And so I do bring that and offer that to the table as well. But we're losing children because they are afraid to report. They don't know what they're reporting. Sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's verbal. Those are easy, but social bullying, racial bullying, how do you really report those if you don't know what social bullying is? And we can get into that. The app also, it definitely redirects cyberbullying. Cyberbullying, the numbers have gone up so much from the pandemic. Beforehand, it was like 67%. During the pandemic, it went to 87. I don't even believe those numbers because we haven't had the app out yet to track all of that data. Right. But I think it's somewhere in the 90s because we do know 97% of our youth are online on online platforms. So within the app, if you're being bullied on Facebook and you're being bullied on Insta and you're being bullied everywhere, you no longer have to go to Facebook, individually and say, okay, this is happening, and keep reporting and keep it. They have millions of reports coming in. They can't address all of them quickly. You go right through the app now. You just press on whatever one it is that takes you right to the back end of where you report. And then we also have what I love, my favorite place in the app is the information station. And the information station Your child could connect with a therapist nationwide, countrywide, and culturally. I mean, I made sure we put every type of clinician in there, because I know that some people, they kind of don't see a clinician because the stigma of I'm crazy, or it's crazy, or maybe a white clinician won't really know how to support a Black woman, or a Black child. It doesn't, that's not necessarily true, but some people just feel comfortable with their culture. So every culture is in the app. It's in different languages. It's in Spanish. It's about to be in 9 other languages. And it also, you can, acquire my services. I'm a bullying expert, a consultant, certified. And I work with law firms, I work with schools, I work with institutions, and that is also offered all through the app. And then we have new features in phase 2, the watch. And now we're going global. So we could talk about that. But those are the features of the app. There's new stuff coming. In 90 days, this thing is going to be something that just does not exist. I can't tell the 2 other things, but we are adding AI to it. And it's what that AI is going to do is going to be amazing.
Okay. All right. See, you've already blown my mind with everything you just finished saying, like, first and foremost. Oh, no, because that is fascinating. And all I have to say is EBB and presto.
Yep. Emergency bullying button.
And as you said, like, the numbers on cyberbullying, astronomical. What? I think you said 97%, maybe, something of that nature. It has to be. Yeah, like, it's through the roof, because I've worked in the school district here in Chicago. I've worked in the school district out in Los Angeles as well. And just encountering so many students, I can tell you just some of the things that go on, middle school through high school, just some of the conversations I've just, unfortunately, had the pleasure of being privy to, has just been wild. And to have something like this, as you said, on the school bus of all places, I believe there was an incident not too long ago where, like, a child was assaulted on a school bus, and the school bus aide or the bus driver, they were, like, really not paying attention or what have you, but it was a whole mess. Having something like this helps that situation. Yes, it is unfortunate what happened to the student, but something like this can help,
Definitely.
Situations like that,
Definitely, because the bus driver, I mean, their defense is that they can't see what's in the back of the bus. Legally, they're not supposed to just stop a bus when they're driving either. With all of the children, they have to have probable cause to do that. But there was a young lady in New York. I'm a little edgy. I do give examples because people really need to know. No. And there was an autistic girl who was raped on the back of the bus, and she couldn't talk, so she was nonverbal. So they literally raped her in the back of the bus. And the bus driver said he just saw kids, like a group, but he didn't see what they were doing, and he didn't stop the bus. Now, the bottom line is, should have never happened, but had she had the app, because it doesn't mean just because someone is nonverbal doesn't mean that cognitively. So she could have pressed the button and he would have been alerted immediately and would have pulled that bus over, and she wouldn't have had to go through what she had to go through. And this thing, the app is in 0 time. When I say, because we test it constantly, and I have meetings, and my favorite mayor, the mayor of Bannon, California, and Mayor Wallace, we were eating lunch, and I'm talking to her, and I said, and I didn't mean for it to do it, but she was like, whoa, that thing really works. I just had my phone open, and I said, and all you have to do is say EBB or emergency, and she had food in her mouth. And it started recording her, and we just started laughing, but she was like, whoa, that is so fast. I'm like, yeah. So it is an amazing product, but what we're adding to it is going to take this to the moon. And not only that, we have the adult. I also invented an adult version of the app. It's called Stomp. And this app contributes to trying to redirect every, every violation you can think of: elder abuse, domestic violence, human trafficking, financial abuse, corporate bullying. There's a chapter in my book that states that little bullies turn into big bullies if they're not addressed, right? When they're little. So
Okay. So look. Okay, man. First and foremost, once again, blowing my mind. Just the concept. And that was a question that I, had like at first, but you just answered the question. For those who are nonverbal, how do they, respond or whatever? And as you said, okay, if it's so much as pushing a button, boom. And did I hear you correctly by saying that you do have it on the watch as well?
Yes, so that's in phase 2, and they told me the next 2 months it'll be on the watch. So this is amazing, though. On the adult version, I just want to say this because we know that this happens. And so if someone is driving and, even if they're African American, whatever, whoever, I don't want to, sometimes I have to be careful with what I say, but it's just the truth. Right. We know, people step on people's necks and things happen, okay? With this watch. And I always say that I watch a lot of, I'm the inventor of the apps and the IPs behind it and the curriculum. And what really helped me is when I started watching court cases, and I would watch like the time that they had before the violation happened. Like when people break into their home and they're trying to whisper, and 911 is keeping them on this long conversation, and like he's coming into the bathroom. It's too much talking. Like, that's why people are dying. I'm just not even being funny. And I know they have to keep them on so that they can get the address. I get it. But it's like they can't be loud and talking. They're like, ma'am, are you still there? Like, all loud. And someone saying, he's in the living room. Like, yeah, you won't have to do that on this, because on the adult app, you have 5 people. So it could be your best friend, your neighbor, your husband, your wife, whomever, your kids. And if someone breaks into your home and you're in the bathroom hiding, within seconds, your neighbor can be downstairs before the police, or have the police there so that you don't have to wait until they come into the bathroom. Or I watch cases where people are shot and they're just laying there just in the closet, like, I'm hiding, he's still in here. And they're like, well, is anyone else around? Man, like, loud. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I can't answer that question. I'm fighting for air. You won't have to do that any longer. You will literally, 5 people will know where you are, what's going on. They will see it, hear it. So on the watch, I'm getting back to that. When we're pulled over, I watch these cases a lot where the violence happens. And we know they're hate crimes and what have you. But I do, on that clinical side, I say there's a heightened response. And it's because both people are scared. Like, even if we feel like we're tough, like, oh, I'm not a punk, I'm not this, I'm not, right. I'm a grown man. But you still know that what can happen to you. So automatically you pull out your phone. Can I have your badge number? I'm just saying, I'm not judging people. But what I'm saying is, like, you really don't have to die or be violated. You don't have to. And then the police get all nervous because I watch these things to see the breathing, to see the stress levels go up, and to see, wow, all of this time wasted. Like, someone could have been over here for you. Someone could have drove to where you are. The more people, the more they're not going to violate. We have great police people, and then we have people who just do terrible things to people. Sure. But what I'm saying is they won't when there's a whole crowd. Normally that's when it's after the fact, right? So this will stop that. And you won't have to talk, because on the watch, you can sit right there and just have your hands on the steering wheel, and 5 people see and know what you're going through. And you do not have to sit there and say, can I have your badge number? I'm going live. That agitates. And I know why they're doing it, right? Because I'm about to put you on blast so that you don't take my life. But it makes them violate you or take your life. So these are going to be things and tools, that will really keep people safe. And this goes all the way from the adult app services to college, all the way to convalescent homes, because there's elder abuse, like, every day, all day. Yeah. And they're raped and beat up and everything. And people pay all of that money to have their parents there. And then these things happen. Or the government, pays all of that money to the convalescent homes, and they take it. And our elders are treated so poorly. in so many different places. And so this, what both of these apps are going to do is just save lives. It's going to prevent, and it's going to hold people accountable, because you can't lie on this app. You see, you can lie with witnesses. I think I saw somebody who had black hair. I think it was a lady. I think, it's, no. You have the video in real time, and you cannot lie. It's going to be like, okay, it was that person that did that. So that's what I have here.
Look, okay, let me just say this right now. I pride myself on informative content, but you, ma'am, yeah, let me just say there's informative content, and then there's just groundbreaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, this is groundbreaking news, okay? We have like totally surpassed the informative content stage, all right? No, like that is groundbreaking. I mean, think about everything you just said, especially with the police brutality, okay? How many times do we see that, you know? All you have to do is scroll up and down social media. People always have their phones out, this, that, what have you, or, you know, a person's recording, you know, trying to, man, George Floyd.
I know.
You know? I mean, really, if it wasn't for that young lady recording, we couldn't see.
Correct.
And, you know, like that, yeah, groundbreaking, game changer. As you said, elderly abuse. It doesn't get talked about as much, but yes, it does happen. And man, we need to pay close attention to that. And yes, they need help as well. So yeah, groundbreaking, trailblazer, man, like, I don't know how high I can go. I don't know how high I can get my arms, but yeah, you are there. You are there. And this is wonderful. So, man, like, wow. Okay. Like, first and foremost, I'm just speechless, but, man, so this is available on Apple and Android?
Yes. Yep. And on a tablet, you can use an iPad. It still can record if you're a child. And let's say you're doing an activity on the iPad, someone's babysitting you, or foster care, or whatever the situation, or you at, you know, karate and you don't feel like doing your turn and you just want to get on your iPad. If someone comes over to you and bothers you, all you have to do is press the button. Is on the iPad. The EBB is a big red button, so kids will not miss it. And you don't even have to press it once again. You can just say EBB or emergency. You hold your iPad just like this, and your mama and daddy seeing everything. So yeah.
So, okay. So now let me just ask, because, you know, now my brain is like functioning now, you know, it's like, okay, yeah, no. So let me just ask, as far as like law enforcement, getting them involved, because if I have an incident, like let's say I'm like a teenager, I'm at school, there's an incident, I'm getting bullied, man, I press the app, the info goes out, now everyone has the info. Can that hold up in court? Can that hold up, you know, can people be prosecuted, and, you know, you could take that to, you know, the cops or what have you, like, hey, this happened, XYZ, man, I need this person, you know, arrested, or, you know, I need them detained or what have you.
Absolutely. Now there's another feature on the app if you are in direct danger. I mean, being bullied is dangerous, but I mean, like, jumped in the bathroom and your head's being banged in or something very, very, you can call 911. 911 is voice activated right in the EBB button, and you can also press it without anyone knowing, and they can hear it. So they will be able to. Now, there's different laws, and how we had to address this. Every state is different. So some states you have to tell someone, I'm recording you. Okay, that's simple. So what you're going to say that, because you can't hide the app. You know something. We want to deter the behavior of the bully. Can I say that we're going to annihilate the behavior, not the bully, because he's a child, she's a child, guys. But we can definitely take that behavior down by shrinking him or her. If you can't get your behavior off, you're going to not do it, fold or flee, or leave the school, because you just can't take it that you can't get your behavior off. So this is a deterrent, and even on the adult app. I mean, you know, once this really, really gets out all over the place, people are gonna be like, okay, well, I don't want to go to jail forever, because this will definitely answer to your question. Yes, because once you let someone know that you're recording them, it becomes legal and it is admissible in court. So this is going to also be a game changer. And I work with law firms, I consult with them on some of these cases. And it's going to be, I had one attorney tell me, we spend a lot on collecting evidence and hiring investigators.
Right.
This is going to definitely help us cut expenses. Not that they won't need them, obviously, because you need human touch and human experience, but you will have credible, this is credible. You can't lie on this. Wow. Cannot lie on this. So, and that AI intelligence that we're talking about, the biggest thing, the only thing I can say, because it is, you know, we're in a patent, the last phases and everything, and we are definitely, this app doesn't exist. And I thank God for that. But it's what you talked about with connecting police to, it's going to literally connect them in real time. And that's all I can really say about it. I'm so excited about it though, because it doesn't even exist in general. So now it's going to be finished within the app. We've really, I have an incredible technical team, and they just say, what do you have? What ideas do you have? Let's put it in there.
Shout out to first and foremost, shout out to the team. Shout out to the tech team.
Oh my God.
For putting it all together, man. Shout out to y'all. And you know, just shout out to you once again, just having a vision and just bringing all this to life. Yes. Because see, look, we just live in a time now where people are just, for whatever reason, I'm not going to say mean, but you know, a lot of people are spiteful these days. Ooh. And since we live in a digital time, everyone's on computers,
correct,
laptops, tablets, phones, you know. So, you know, man, please, if you get on Twitter, that's just a battle alone, you know. I mean, please. You know, but I want to talk a little bit about the psychological effects of bullying. Okay, of course, you know, unfortunately, as you said, the app does have the bereavement page and, you know, those who take their lives. But I mean, I want to talk a little bit about the other aspect of it, you know, like those who actually may survive their younger years of bullying, you know, how may that affect them as they grow, you know, towards adulthood or, you know, actually being adults or what have you?
So many different ways it affects negatively, and dying obviously is the most extreme. Right. However, it may not happen in that adolescent stage, but if you walk around for many years and it's never, you know, you never process it, or you're not helped in processing it, then it can develop into depression and then suicidal and then later. However, there are so many effects, like people who are bullies, are 2 times more likely to go to prison. A lot of people don't know that, right? People who are bullied, and if it's like a continuous, like every day you're going to school and you're getting your head put in a trash can, every day you're being reminded, you know, in my son's case, that you're little or less than, or what have you, whatever the bully does to the target. I don't call anyone a victim because we're trying to empower kids. We don't want them to be targets any longer, so we can't call them victims. But children that I deal with personally, post-traumatic stress disorder, sleeping disorders, eating disorders, you name it, I'm not joking, ulcers, insomnia, they become insomniatic, mood swing disorder, bipolar, like all of these different things because they were traumatized. But see, the thing is that the trauma, some children have the coping skills, and it's just, this is what's, you know, in my new book, Are You Raising a Bully, which will be out in April. This is my second book, but this one is like the Bible to bullying and the psychological, you know, backdrop of everything. If it's never treated, then it progresses into more and more and more and more and more. So it could start out as a little bit of fear, a little bit of anxiety. But imagine, this is a true story of someone who had her head put in a trash can every day for 2 school years. So can you imagine that? And she's a woman now, and she's a beast of a businesswoman. But when she tells that story, she said, I was terrible. And now to this day, she was like, I have PTSD, I have anxiety disorder, I have irritable bowel syndrome. Like, she has everything, just because that is the nature of this beast. If you do not treat it in those primary ages, it will definitely manifest into clinical conditions. And then we have some people that just don't, they just thrive in it, and they grow through it, and they're just stronger, and they become empowered, and then they can empower others, and they become advocates. And then we even have, in my book, I call the bystander, or, the watcher in my book, because this is a person that watches stuff. They don't jump in, but they film everything, and then they share. And I'm saying, if you only knew your powers, the bully is not bullying you. The bully has a target, and that's who his target is. So when I do my trainings and workshops with the kiddos, we role play in all of the characters, and all, because there's 6 characters in the whole bullying scenario. People say, oh, it's just a bully and a victim, just for the sake of what people say. And I say, no, there's a watcher, there's an upstander, there's a person that says, stop, don't do that. There's a person that say, I'll hold him, you hit him. That's I call that person the assistant, because they assist the bully. And then you have someone that shares. They don't touch anybody, they don't say anything, but they're shared, like, oh my God, did you see that fight over there? Mm-hmm. You're a promoter, you're promoting the violence. Mm-hmm. So all of these kiddos and these adolescents need to be addressed individually. That's the way that we're going to treat this. If we just say, okay, it's one umbrella and this is protocol for bullying. Okay, respond in 24 hours. Man, that stuff is out the window right now. We are losing babies 7 to 17. It's not working. That is not working. We need to stop it in its track. That's what the app does. But then there's a curriculum to redirect that behavior, retrain that brain, and then there's support. There's support after. So I did write a curriculum. It's called Be Brave, and it couples the app.
Okay. All right. Well, now, see, that's key, because, look, sometimes we have people, they always say, hey, I'm about mental health. And it's a lot of buzzwords, but there's no action.
Correct.
This is action.
Yes.
This is a solution. Like, you're offering solution. You're like offering help right then and there. Like, okay, I know this is traumatizing. I know this happened to you. I know you may not want to talk about it, but here's some help right here. Correct. This is what you need right here. So let me ask, for those who refuse to acknowledge the help right then and there, I mean, will it still be there for them? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or whenever they decide to come around? Because we have those who refuse to acknowledge that this is happening to me.
Right.
So, how can something like that help them?
Well, the thing is that some people who resist, and that's a lot of the targets obviously do. And we have a place in the app for the bully, because we love the bully and we want to embrace them and we want to help them. So we have bullying reform activities and policies and procedures to correct his behavior. If you do not correct it, I don't care what anyone says, if you remove the target, there's no one to bully. So we know we need to empower the target. But if you don't give the bully the opportunity to bully, you won't have a bully either, because how is he going to do that? This is what I'm saying. This is going to say, oop, I better not do that in this school. They don't play. They have the app. I'm going to be caught, so. But for people who are resistant, and that's typical when you're introducing something new. Even when you're being violated, people will ask women in domestic violence, like, how do you sit in that? And why did you sit in that? And he did this, and she did this. And the bottom line is, it's just a repetitive cycle that becomes you're used to. You're used to this. It's your cycle. You're used to this. You get hit. Oh, you powder up your face and you go on about it. Becomes your norm. So resistance will always happen when you're trying to, even if you're helping people. And within the app, there's once again an avenue to clinicians all over the place. There's suicide prevention in there. There's information in there. So it's private. That's why we say it's the buddy in your pocket. You don't have to really go to the principal's office. He already has the information anyway. And that's another thing that's going to help people who don't want to speak up. If it's recorded, you have the information. So now they're going to have to face up to being a target. A lot of it's just fear. So yes, in answer to your question, they have so many avenues within the app, but it's private. So you can name your bully in the app as well. It's not anonymous. You have 2 options.
All right.
So you can name your bully, and you could put the time, the date, where it happened. The data that we're going to collect from this app is amazing. It will change science. I'm serious. We're so excited about it.
I'm excited about it. Like, no, seriously, like as a former educator, I am excited about this. Even though a lot of the students now are now adults now, but I mean, whatever. But anyway, something like this, like even like maybe 5 years ago, when I was still, in education, wonders. And
teachers get bullied as well. There's a space in the app for teachers to report and record their bullying. I've had teachers get stabbed with pencils. I've had a teacher in Houston, his ribs were broken by a middle schooler bumping his head into his ribs. There's a lot of teachers nationwide that and they're told, do not report this if you want your job. So the app is there for them as well.
Look here. Miss Towns, I can tell you right now, we can have, that's a whole nother show for a whole other day about this school admin. I can tell you, Anyway, let me bring it down. Woosah. All right.
In some schools, not every school.
Right. Not every school. Not every school. Now,
let's go down.
There is that disclaimer. Not every school now. Shout out to those great schools.
Amen.
Some of y'all know who we talking about, though. Yeah. Anyway. But you have a nonprofit, and I find this, very fascinating, very near and dear to my heart personally. But your son Corey was diagnosed with dwarfism. Ugh, God, I can't speak to that. All right, but it is a very rare condition, fewer than 20,000 children a year, I believe.
Yeah, it's very rare. Like it's a 1 in 40,000 chance that a mom gets to get a baby with this. So I always say, thank you, God, for blessing me.
Okay, so look, let's talk about it, and let's talk about your nonprofit, Tiny Be Mighty.
Yes.
Like, what kind of work do you all do? And, how are you like spreading awareness about your son's diagnosis?
Well, the type of work that we do with the nonprofit, we have a dual purpose, and that's 1, to raise awareness for dwarfism, and 2, to offer a resolution for bullying. I don't say raise awareness because we know it exists. Dwarfism, a lot of people don't know. It's a very rare condition. He has achondroplasia, so that is one of the typical conditions under small stature, but there are like close to 100 different types. So what we do is we do annual fashion shows. I'm always, being interviewed. We go on the news. I mean, we just do a lot of different things to raise the awareness and just to really get people involved. We know that in science, unfortunately, when you have something that is rare, it's not the top thing studied, and it's not where all of the funding goes to. Funding goes to the heart, cancer, like things that, there's more people with them, but I still think that, we deserve to know where, how and when, and we know it's a genetic condition, but it's just really about all we know about. It's not really much. We know about different things that can happen and different things that you deal with when you have it, but scientifically, there's really not enough evidence to really give us a lot of information, especially as parents. When he was a baby, I had 2 children that they weren't born with anything. And so he was the first in our family. And that was very, very traumatizing because I didn't even know what to do. And then I drove him nuts is what I did. And he's like, hey, like he's a big personality. He's 15 now, but when he was little, he was like 2 years old, like, hey, stop lifting me up. I'm standing on this box. I'm going to grab it myself. I'm like, okay.
Okay. So, all right. Now, you know what? Now, let's just stay right there for a second because, in most cases, we do have parents, hey, they may be a little overbearing, oh, my child, my precious, but at the end of the day, And studies even show, even in autistic children, which I've worked with, they are people too, and they want their independence, you know? So let's like talk a little bit about the mental state and the mind state, like, you know, when you first learn, okay, and then up to the point where you realize, hey, you know what? You're right.
Leave him alone.
I'm gonna leave you alone.
Just leave.
You are your own person.
Yes. I have a funny story. When he was born, achondroplasia, like even the smartest person in the moon, if you're not in that field, you're not going to know what that is. So the doctor came in and he said, oh, I wanted to let you know, we ran some tests and your baby has achondroplasia. Well, let me tell you, all I heard was your baby has achondroplasia. Nothing else the doctor said. Like, in fact, he said, they live long, they're just like us, they're just smaller. But I didn't hear any of that. In fact, I did this loud outburst of crying, and the doctor's looking at me puzzled, and I'm like, oh my God, like, because what I thought, and all of the blood cancers have that asia and plasia and all of the, so I instantly thought it was a rare cancer. So I'm like, oh my God, like he was just born. That's not fair. He's like, he can live longer than you. So I'm trying to like console you, but did you hear what I said? And I was like, wait, what'd you say again? Oh gosh. And my husband at the time, no longer married to him, but that is his dad. He jumped up, he was sleeping and he jumped up and he was like, would you calm down, please? I'm like, well, now I'm calm after I know he's going to live longer than us. Okay. So I'm calm now, right. But it was just that was scary. I'm just not even going to say anything less than that. It was super duper scary. And then I turned in to even my dad, my family, they love newborns and they came out to help, and my dad's around. And we lived in Arizona where, and this baby was born in March, and it's hot getting out there. He's like 3 months, and I have like a snow hat, a sweater. Oh, I'm telling you, this baby went through it with me. Okay. And even my dad was like, my family name is Lulu, and he's like, Lulu, why are you putting that? I was like, Dad, because he's little, and I don't want him to get a cold. He's like, that's gonna make him sick. It's hot out here. And I said, and then one day, and that's when it just ended for me. One day I worked myself up so much, honestly, that I almost had a panic attack. He was in the car with a sweater on, and it's like July. And my dad and I go into the store, and I look back, and he was sweating. I'm not joking. And that's one of the things that happens to them because their skin does not stretch like ours. Obviously, they're compact. So their paws are definitely compromised in that way, and their sweat is exaggerated. So I turned around, and I saw my baby. I mean, like he was drenched to the point where I literally thought he was having something with his heart, and he was breathing heavy, and I'm like, Dad, I gotta get him to the ER. And he's like, you need to take that sweater off of him. Like he was adamant. I was like, no, I'm telling you, Dad, it's his heart because he's breathing so fast. He's like, I'm gonna take this sweater off of him, you watch. And I'm like, no, leave him, don't touch him. There were so many ER visits. The doctors be like, why is he here? And I'm like, I don't know. So when I came into the ER, of course, there was a woman doctor, and she was like, I just want to ask, has he been showing signs of a cough, a cold, like trying to figure the logic of the sweater in July in Arizona. And I was like, no, I just didn't want him to get a cold. She's like, please remove that sweater, please, or I will. I'm not joking. Like her and my dad were on this little coalition with removing the sweater. So I said, go ahead, remove the sweater. And why did the sweat dry up? His heart rate went back.
Yeah, because he was hot. Yeah. Real simple. Simple.
So poor baby had to live through that kind of mama. And I'm already a helicopter mom to begin with my other children. But I mean, with him, I was like 10 helicopters. And finally by 4, because he was always an old soul. He talked literally at 7 months. We have video of him saying ball, not like buh. He was saying ball, stop, dog. I'm like, wow, 7 months going into 9. It's very, very intellectual baby and kid. And finally, 2, I was getting on his nerves. But by 4, he was like, hey, don't do none of that stuff for me. I got it. I was like, okay. Okay. And I left him alone. And by the age of 6, he became a public speaker. and he started speaking all over the nation. And then by 7 or 8, he spoke in South Dakota in front of 960 kids. And now he doesn't choose to speak any longer, but he's getting his healing is his music, and he just recorded his first rap song.
Okay.
And he's really, can't say other stuff, but it really was a Rampage from Flip Mode Squad just played it on his iHeartRadio show in the morning show, and
Shout out to Ram.
Yeah.
Plus all y'all digger. Yeah, I know. Even Rock Moss, man, you know, I mean, I know you do your own thing, but hey, whatever. Anyway.
Yes, Rampage is a long time family friend, very close. And so he said if it's not good, I'm not playing it, but he did. So obviously it's good. So he's come a long way. And in answer to your question, I panicked in the beginning, literally like panic attacks. I drove him nuts. I would always try to do every single thing. And he would just look at me like, I have the trucks to stand on. Like, he was so innovative at 2. If he could not reach it, I was like, I'll get it. Like, I'm standing on my box. I got it. Like at 2, telling me like, lady, leave me the heck alone. And then by, middle school, and then we began with the bullying, became so crazy. And, and then he just took a back seat to all of the public speaking. And now he's a teenager. Whew, and that personality is even bigger than what it was at 2 and 4. So I've really learned to just leave him alone, guide him, protect him, love him, but leave him alone. He's not an invalid. And he even told me the other day, I'm not disabled. I said, I never call you. I don't even use that D word. We say different ability. He's like, I'm not even that. I'm like everybody else. I'm just short. So I love it. I love it. But that has been my experience. Any parent who does have a baby with dwarfism or small stature or anything that society deems is not within what we consider normal. I don't even use that word either. We all have something. Just relax, though. That's the biggest advice I could give. I learned how to relax because I really had a lot of sleepless nights, all jokes aside, for like 2 years straight. So.
Oh man, look here. Shout out to Corey. That's the young man's name?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Shout out to you, sir, man. And look here, man. Keep hitting them strides, bro. Keep hitting them strides. That's what we need in this world. Seriously.
Definitely.
All right. So now look, if people want to get in contact with you, they want, man, because obviously you got a lot going on. All right. You got a lot going on. If they want these books, if they want to learn more about this app, man, like all this good stuff, how do they get in contact? Social media, websites, what have you?
So if you want the Bullying Buddy, and please go download the app. It's 99 cents and there's no subscription, no hidden fees. We just want to save lives. It really is, very, very affordable.
Basically free.
Yes. You go to the word THE, bullyingbuddy.com. That is for the Bullying Buddy app. For the adult app, Stomp. You go to Stomp, STOMP.world. Because it's a world issue. We were just invited to Georgia, the country. So we're so excited. In October, we'll be there, be working with the university on research and studying, and they're going to use the app. And it's just going on its own. It's just God. I give him everything. This is his mission. And then, excuse me, on social media, it's the word, the Bullying Buddy. So you can go to Bullying Buddy on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We even have a LinkedIn page. And then if you want consulting or me to come into your school and do workshops and role playing and all of these amazing things that I train teachers, admin, parents, even policy and procedure makers, and the kiddos. So we have to hit everyone involved on the types of bullying and reporting and role playing and the emotional. The curriculum is SEL, so I know you would know what that is. The social emotional learning is very big right now, and that is going to help with the behavior, and everything is online on the website. And then we're on every social media platform that we even have TikTok. So
there it is, y'all. Okay, they got TikTok. I know it, man.
Okay.
Look, I ain't even gonna have this conversation, but all y'all know what's up. I'm gonna put this clip up on TikTok, and I'm just gonna say, yeah, go on over there, because I know all y'all over here but just go on over there. Okay? Y'all all over here. Anyway, but no, I love it. I love it. I love, man. Look,
Thank you.
Like I said, man, groundbreaking, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, informative, but groundbreaking. All right. Man, I've come to the last question, but this is the question that my show is known for. But I just got to get this answer here. All right, Miss Tara Lynn Towns. What is the one word that best describes you and why?
Determined, because I don't ever take a no for an answer.
See, I'm just gonna go resilient. All right. I mean, I know people have used that word, but this is a true case of being resilient. All right. And what you have, and man, what you brought forth, man, you know what? No, I'm gonna take resilient out. I'm gonna throw that out. I'm gonna use beacon.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Nah. Tell you why now. Okay. Light shines bright. Everyone sees.
Amen.
You just went internet, man. You're going international with something that's going to help everyone around the world. Okay. Yes. That ain't nothing, man. That ain't no little, man. This ain't like some potato chips that just came out or whatever, like rap snacks, that I'm just gonna feed some people with. No, man. This is something way bigger than, man. This is big. Okay, on so many levels. This is going to save lives. Okay, this is going to deter people. This is going to put a new thought out. Okay, like, hey, you know what? Let me think about my actions before I do anything. Light. When that light comes on, oh, what do? I'm going to look at it. Yeah, oh, wow, right. Let me go over here and do something else that I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, so that's my word to you, man. And thebullyingbuddy.com, ladies and gentlemen. Apple, Android, don't be mad. Y'all get y'all watches. All right, tablets, phones, man. Look here, people, speak up. All right. Yes. Look, let me just say this. I wish you well. I ain't even gonna say look, but I just wish you well. Because you're going to have to get a lot of sleep, all right? Because you're going to be doing a whole bunch of these when this comes out. And I just want to say I'm thankful to have you on my platform. And I'm thankful, man, to just be spreading this news because this is wonderful.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Man, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, look. This has been Word with Ty Brownlow. I've been your host, Ty Brownlow. Remember, no one is worthless, no story is worthless. Follow me, all social media platforms, Word with Ty Brownlow. Go to my website, tybrownlow.com. Get this wonderful interview plus other great interviews. Miss Tara Lynn Towns, we out. Peace.